This is the ninth part in God's 7 Miracles for Pastor Doug Nicholas. Where we left off last time, I told you about 6 of them, and this will be the 7th miracle in this video. After I was still living in a home of about 50 years, and my shop and everything, it was all on the same property, and things were bad, and nobody would help me, and even acquaintances and friends were afraid to come and see me. Some had told me they got threats, and it was ugly, you know. My mom was lying about me, and people were leaving messages that somebody should kill me. If people that knew me were flipping me off, shaking their fist at me. So I was pretty lonely. If I hadn't had God, I don't know how I got through it. And even today, you know, the pain that I battle every day, but it's still worth it. God give me this life, and I love it, and I love God. But one night, I was still in a wheelchair, and I was coming home, and I opened the door, and a bullet went through it, and I rolled out of the chair and crawled under a trailer, and the next bullet cut my head about right there. And if I pull my hair back, you can see the scar today. My brother-in-law and my sister, they were coming at night. They were taking care or checking on me and stuff, and they called 911. They called the sheriff. It took a long time, hours, and he wouldn't make a report. He didn't even want to take pictures. I don't think he ever took a picture of me with the blood and everything. But I know my brother-in-law went over and said there's the footprints to the one guy that I'd seen in front of me, and that's the guy I think shot and cut my head. There was another guy over here behind an apple tree that was a big tall guy. But then the sheriff did go over and see him, and they followed him, and they went across the field to a vehicle, and still sheriff wouldn't take pictures of the vehicle tracks or anything. When they got back, I'd written what had happened on a piece of paper and made the sheriff take it, which, you know, that was toilet paper, but nothing was ever done, you know. I did ask the sheriff why it took him so long to get there. Well, that's a story in itself, I guess. But I had to move away because I couldn't kill those people. Well, the sheriff told me if I'd killed my brother the night he kicked the door in and broke my neck. You know, he's 12 foot at my house. I had every right to protect myself. But the sheriff told me one day that I would have been the bad guy, and I would have went to jail for that. Even though I was crippled with a broken neck and could barely get to the door, he was going to make that sound bad. So, again, I hope Iowa takes notice. I mean, it could help some people. Not me. I'm done. As far as the sheriff, I don't have any protection. It's so bad that when Iowa finally believed me after I sent pictures, they give me a phone number to call and said, don't ever let the sheriff take you in. Lock yourself in and call this number. And, you know, I could make a movie on that time of my life. I mean, it wasn't just a few incidents. This went on for months. You know, I built this shop, and it took me 30-some years. And I'd saved money, had it in my will for my kids to have when I passed on. It's gone. It's gone. They took it. You know, the only thing I got out of there with was possessions. There was no money left in the bank. It was gone. And You know, anytime I come back to get any of my stuff in Iowa, they made more attempts. But as you know, in 2015 is when I had some sad times, and I became a pastor. And I've tried to tell my story many ways. You know, I tried to write a book. That didn't work out. I mean, I tried to get a ghostwriter and stuff. I can't. I'm not a writer. My youngest son could write the book. And probably my daughter. But, you know, I just wasn't having any success. Everything I tried, somehow some evil got to it because it didn't work out. So this is the final attempt, because this is going to work, because I'm doing it myself in a house by myself with my best friend Hugh, and he will never let anything hurt me, or I him. And so this is the final chapter, and I backed all my videos up, so if they get deleted off YouTube for some weird reason, I will try to put them back on. But in 2017 is when I found out about the seventh miracle. It had happened prior, but this is solid proof. This isn't my idea like cancer. Well, I have solid proof on the cancer too. We have x-rays. And you know, we can pull them out, I guess, if we have to. So, 2017, I got some pain. It's not the nerve pain. It's not the bones rubbing bones. It's different. And I can't sleep. I'm sweating from the pain. And I got caught in Iowa seeing my daughter, and she finally, bless her heart, took me to the hospital in Omaha to a doctor that I trust. And he seen me and immediately, you know, stuck me in a hospital to do tests. And they found out I contacted a rare disease from the spinal cord injury my brother had caused. And it's called radiodommulitis, which that's my pronunciation, but I'm not smart like a doctor. But what that does is when I use a muscle, those muscle cells eat muscle cells. And so my oldest son fixed that problem for me. Put more of what you need in. I drink a lot of protein drinks every day. Because, again, I was supposed to die. They said if my daughter hadn't have brought me in within a day or two, I was gone, because my urine was black, smelled terrible. My kidneys were shutting down. And that's what happens. The dead muscle cells contaminate the kidneys so bad they can't clean it, and you die. But it took a long time to calm that pain down, because they don't have any medicine that'll calm that pain down. The day in the hospital, they kept shooting me full of narcotics, and I finally said, this is not helping me. She said, well, you've got the maximum limit for a 400-pound man, so we can't give you any more anyway. I said, well, I'm really kind of freaking out here, because one doctor thinks that my spinal cord narrowed, and he thinks he's going to operate on me, and he'll kill me because of the spinal cord. And I won't let him. But anyway, I'm kind of freaked out, because I like the guy. Got anything to calm me down? God put something in that syringe, because it calmed me down. And I got through that MRI test. And when the doctor called me to show me the results of that MRI test, this is a doctor that took doctors to get me to him. He's world known. He doesn't take people for money. He only takes people he thinks he can help. He's a good man. He's not like most of them that I've seen. You know, my mom had 3 doctors push me away. No, quit seeing me. And one told me, your mom is the reason. I said, well, she can't do anything. Well, she can take time, and I don't have time for that. So the easiest thing is get rid of you. And they did, 3 of them. And I have proof of that too. But he brings the pictures in of the MRI that day himself, and he says, sit down beside me, and he puts them up on the screen. He said, what do you think of that? And I said, wow, somebody's got a really nice spine. I said, that's awesome. He said, that's you. I said, there's no way that's me. Just in 2010-11, when we did it after my brother broke it again, I said it was like still the 8 that I broke and 2 more that he broke. And it was so, and there was floaters floating around. Evidently, some of them had went in the spinal cord. I said, how can that be me? He goes, I don't know. I said, well, you know, what are you going to write on that report? He said, well, I'm going to write that you're no worse. I said, I'm better. Why can't you write that I'm better? He said, because I don't want the scrutiny of my other acquaintances and the world to say, how could you do that? There's no operation. There's nothing. No medicine, no operation, nothing. It is God's miracle. And if you don't believe that, then I'm sorry. Because I have pictures. I can show you pictures. I can let you talk to that man. There's no reason for that. That doctor that day said, what have you been doing since 2010? I said, I've been doing as much as I can. And I said, I'll drag myself back when my legs quit. I still try to work on the motors I build. My arm quits. I go to the house and wait till the pain goes away. Or it never goes away, but it gets like now where I can function and think a little bit. And you can tell from my videos that it's hard to think when you're in a lot of pain. But this is all I got to tell you, and I'm trying to get it done. Because I promised God I'd do it, and He's done so much for me. And if you don't believe that's a miracle, then please, please look at my pictures. And if enough people watch this and stuff, you know, I can even try to get somebody to help me post them so you can all see them. I don't care. It's the truth. It's God's miracle. The other miracles through my life, you know, when the angels told me I was stubborn, I was stubborn. They're trying to tell me. And I just kept working on motors because it's all I knew, I thought. When I was in high school, I honestly thought about joining the priesthood. But I didn't, of course, but maybe that was evil pushing me away. Gave me the brains to do what nobody else has figured out yet on motors. Some airflow ideas. I read all the books and stuff, but I tested everything, and the stuff I do works. But anyway, in 2017 was the miracle. I mean, for 2 more years, till now, I tried to tell my story. Of course, if you see me on the street, you probably heard parts of it, because I was looking for somebody to help me. You know, I know if my children were with me and they got tired of hearing this stuff. But I kept thinking, I got to reach out. There's got to be somebody here that can help me. And in the end, I couldn't find them. And so you're stuck with me, and I'm not fun to look at or anything, but it's me. And it's 2019, about the end of it. And that'll be 10 years after my brother broke my neck, and my mom and all the evil law stole my business, my money, my home, my friends, my health, everything I thought was important to me, but it wasn't. Everything. The good never changed inside of me. Not one day. Not even when it was in my face, it never changed. And God knows I could have killed any one of them anytime I wanted to. And at long range. But I can't do that. That's evil. If you want to live right, follow the 10 Commandments. If you want to live in man's world, you better follow his laws. But let's hope they never take our protection away, because there's too much crooked law out there. And it's not all crooked. My gosh, one day in Oregon, Hugh and I'd never seen the ocean. And when they told me that I was going to die, we jumped in the Jeep and we drove to the Pacific Ocean. And it was another God's miracle. It's beautiful. We slept in that Jeep every night. You know, I don't have much money, but one day I got caught on a back road and I couldn't get off of it. No, it was just straight up and down on the sides, 2-lane, and you know, I'm hurting worse than now by a bunch. And I'm not driving fast because I don't trust myself driving fast at this time. Not like sometimes, but a state trooper, Oregon, picked me up. And when he come around and looked in, he said, "I'll call the ambulance." And I said, No. He said, "Well, what's going on?" I said, "I live with this pain." I said, "For the last 40 miles, there's no place to get off." He goes, "I know, it's a bad road." I said, "Well, I just need to get off here for I can quit hurting so bad." And he said, "Follow me." And we went backwards down an interstate with cars splitting us. And he took me to a truck stop and went in and told the manager that I would be out there to check on me. And then the next morning at 7, another Oregon State trooper pulled in there to check on me. And we sat there, and he had a spinal cord injury. And we talked about pains that if you haven't had it, you don't understand it. And I pray that you never understand it. But there's a lot of good law there. So don't get me wrong. I'm not condemning good law. I'm condemning evil. And evil comes in many forms. You know, when you get that knock on that door, I love everybody. And I always will. But after what I've seen and what's been done to me, I'm more cautious. I love my family. I still love them. I mean, in the end, all but my 3 kids took advantage of my situations. Even my sister got me. And I knew that couldn't happen. I love her so much. But it's what it is. Evil's strong. Don't ever doubt what evil can do. But just remember, God put evil where it's at, in hell. And that's where it belongs. But I hope if I can help anybody, if there's a hospital with spinal cord injuries, I'll come and talk. And I got some funny, good stories to start things off with. When I was racing, you know, there wasn't much that I was too afraid of. There wasn't anything. And that's why I got 98 broken bones. But anyway, even a brain injury, you know, I still deal with the brain injury. Don't think, I just learned to live with it. You know, I learned to use another part of my brain that I lost in the other part. And it took 10 years. And a real good man, Hudson Shea. I mean, he was there to help. He was good. He wasn't there for the money. But my information is on my channel. I hope you watch it. God's told me that after I tell my story, what I'm supposed to do, and if I can, I'm going to. You know, he's exposed his plan to me, and for a week, he went through my life. God has a sense of humor, and there's no greater love. This is Pastor Doug Nicholas. I hope to be back. Good day.